Hi, Melissa here. I want to talk about strength training. I don't want to make this like a big, heavy training video with lots of research because I just don't think that's helpful. We know that movement and exercise is good generally for human beings, but it is very complex when we are talking about illnesses where energy is a problem, especially MECFS, and the conversation has been so hijacked that it is now a very triggering conversation. And so I'm always very aware of that when I start talking about exercise. But I have noticed that I'm talking a lot about how I want to pursue the simple things in life to be well, and I want to do the most efficient things I can to ensure my health going forward. And there is a lot of research about the benefits of strength-based training for kind of general health and well-being. It can support sleep, it supports your body composition, it supports managing insulin, supports, did I say sleep? I think I said sleep. And it's also particularly helpful for women as they are aging. It's been shown to be helpful with mitigating the symptoms of perimenopause, which are not unlike the symptoms of fibromyalgia and ME/CFS, probably just at a less extreme scale. But it's just the benefits are so numerous. And so for me personally, I enjoy it. But for my context right now, I'm talking 10 to 12 minutes and it's been built up slowly. So I started very slowly after my hysterectomy and endometriosis excision surgery 2 years ago. But I should also say that I've got a long history of experience with exercise and movement. I was working in gyms when I was at university. I have yoga teacher training behind me, and I've seen a lot of physios over the years, and this is my thing that I love to do. So there's always that context. But I started after my surgery because I wanted to get strong. I had lost a lot of my muscle mass and I looked very frail. And I also wanted to build up my strength. And I knew that I was wobbly, but I didn't know that I had hypermobility at the time. But I started with 5 micro squats, calf raises, and cat and cow pose on the floor. So, it's very low. I always have I have to keep my legs, my feet hip width apart. So my squats are very small because obviously there's only so far you can go down before your knees are going to go over your toes. And when I first started doing the calf raises, I was very wobbly. And obviously I know now that's because of the hypermobility spectrum disorder, but I didn't know that at the time. But the benefits of even that, and that's regular, tiny, little movements that I have built on over the years, and particularly these last 2 years, and I've added things and I've changed things, and it always comes back to a really basic routine, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment. But that has actually had really important gains in my strength and my balance and my stability. It has helped with knee pain, and over the last 2 years, because of recovering from surgery, getting rid of the endometriosis problems, and seeing the chiropractor, and starting to sleep better, and the strength training, you can see how it's all helping me snowball into a virtuous cycle rather than a vicious cycle. So things have been going quite well. But what I've noticed is now that I am at this point in my wellness journey, I've just turned 40. I have 4 small children. I am raising these children, running this house, have a part-time job, and I'm working really hard on this stuff. So I've already been working on, I've shared a YouTube video and newsletter and social media for years. I've written non-fiction books for years, but this year I've moved into publishing fiction work. And so I need to treat it, a little bit more like a business and have specific time to sit down for it. But obviously you can see that means that I have less time for self-care, and the strength training has slipped. And so I did a little bit of research actually yesterday, because I know what I need to do to be as well as possible. I need to get my natural light. I'm doing my gentle walking outside. I need to do some form of strength training, and I need to eat real food, drink water. Electrolytes are important for me. And I need to make it easy. So what I did is I looked up at the research and actually found that consistency is a very important part of it. So it's better to do, say, 10 minutes a day than try to do a big routine 2 or 3 times a week that you skip, too many times. So I had a look at what's recommended, what is helpful for health, what are my goals, what are my abilities. And I've decided that I'm going to do a 30-day challenge for myself, and I'm going to do 10 minutes a day of, I'm going to call it body weight resistance, but if I want to pick up a dumbbell, I will. I'll just play. And I'm going to keep it real simple, because what I've noticed is that even when I'm not doing my full routine, as I know I should, that I'll just do some squats or some calf raises here and there. Like I'll get to the end of the day and I'll realize I haven't really done anything. So while I'm cleaning my teeth, I'll do some squats and some calf raises, and then I'll do a plank by the bed before I get in. So I have a rhythm. It's just very chaotic. So I want to try and pull that together. So I want to have a minimum routine that I'm going to do every day. And I've created a worksheet that I'm going to use to track it. I will put it up so you can grab it for free from my PayHip store if you would like to try it as well. It is a very simple, here's what I'm going to do and here's a checklist. Because I find that kind of thing really appealing for myself. So anyway, I'm going to use that and I'm going to do it really simple. And I'm going to give you the example of what I'm doing because it's an example. I want you to know that you can take what you think or what others say you should do and bring it down to your level, but also to do, to things you enjoy and will do, because you're not going to do it if you're not going to enjoy it. So if you prefer yoga, do yoga. If you prefer Pilates, do Pilates. If you just, if you can only do, seated exercises, do seated exercises. So I am never saying you should do what I do. I'm giving you examples, and what I hope is something that was very important to me in my journey: permission to alter for what you need. So I am going to do 3 sets of 10 micro squats, calf raises, tricep dips, and then 3 60-second planks. Remembering I've been building up to this over 2 years, and I'm in a fairly stable place in my health right now. And I will allow myself the freedom to play. I might want to try you can do different variations of things, like there's different variations of planks. I like the idea of working up to push-ups, but I have to be very careful because I get tension in my shoulders. I mean, it's really tense right now, and they can flick into spasm mode quite quickly. So I want to be mindful of that. But like maybe wall push-ups, just little things to keep me invested. But I want to do it every day. So I'm going to do every day, 10 minutes a day, and see how it goes, and track it. And it's just a little bit of fun. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But I thought it would be really fun because I guess one thing is that I have updated my journey over the time, but I haven't actually talked about exercise for a while. So the, 7 of you who follow lots of my videos, and thank you for those who comment regularly on my videos. I love hearing from you, and I love chatting back with you. It's nice to know that I'm not posting into the void and that it's helpful. And also, I guess, just to let you know as well that on the side I am doing my walking, and I think that's part of why I started Googling, is 10 minutes a day better than trying to do inconsistent longer workouts, because I kept getting to this point where I felt like I had to choose between my strength training or my walking, because I couldn't do both. It's too much to do the full thing that I was trying to do with that and then go out for the walk. But I've made a really good rhythm, especially since spring has come, where I'll drop off the kids and I'll go and walk at this wonderful place I love to walk. And what I've realized is that if I'm feeling more poorly, then I will walk pretty slowly, won't walk as far, and I'll sit for quite a while by the water. But if I'm feeling great, I'm going to hammer around twice. But it's enough, I think, if I do the 10 minutes resistance, then I can do whatever I like with the walking. At the moment, I'm capable of that. There are days, so I know that on days that I have heavy housework, I have to cut everything else out. For some reason, scrubbing the bathroom and vacuuming the floors and all of that stuff really puts my heart rate quite high. And I'm not sitting there huffing and puffing, it's just that my heart rate reacts to it. It's a weird potsy thing. So I just know that the energy can't be divided like that. And so I hope that talking this through helps you to understand a little bit of like the journey for me and the process behind the scenes. And I hope it helps you to see the kinds of things that you can think about and consider and adapt for with chronic illness. It is not all you have to be able to do X, Y, or Z to do it properly. And I would argue that being able to do, whatever works for you, but I'm going to give you an example. 10 minutes a day of gentle strength training or 10 minutes a day of gentle yoga, consistently done, is going to end up with better gains than keeping going in the push crash cycle. We don't want the push crash cycle in regular life. We don't want it in our exercise. So I hope that helps. If you want to grab that free download, I'll make sure that it's available before I put this video live. Let me know, do you want to do any kind of challenge like this? If you want to share the journey, come over to my Instagram, and I can put an update in my stories, and you can tell me how you are going with yours. I encourage you, even if you think you would love to do the strength training thing, but you think maybe, you know, one wall plank and 3 micro squats is where you're at, do it. If you want a very gentle yoga routine that's more stretch based that you can do on your bed, I've got a few here on my YouTube channel. I've got seated classes, I've got bed classes, and I've got a gentle beginners class for fibromyalgia. I have an entire playlist of gentle yoga. So have a look at that if that's something that interests you. I know that there is a channel called Jessica Valant. She is a woman who talks often about perimenopause, and she is a Pilates teacher, but she also does strength training. She is wonderful. She has a lot of 10-minute videos. She has strength training and Pilates, and I think she has some stretching as well. She also just has a wonderful message and mission, and she is safe to follow. You have to decide if, you know, like watch the video through and decide if that video is safe for you and if there are some moves you shouldn't do. But she is really great for accessibility. She has some chronic issues herself, including endometriosis. So you can have a look at that. There is a channel of Walk at Home, and they have like 1 mile walks, which is like, I think 15 minutes. You could walk to the end of your driveway and back. You could walk to the end of your street and back. You could do some diaphragmatic breathing in your bed if that's where you're at right now. So I'm not saying everyone can do it, but I am saying that if you want to, there's probably an option for you. And if you have any questions or want to explore some ideas, put the comments below, remembering that I don't give medical advice, I can't give fitness advice, but I can talk with you through ideas if you're thinking about an idea and want to get started. And if you have, you know, if you're quite new to exercise and you're really curious, it really would be great if you could talk to a physical therapist or physiotherapist who understands your conditions. And I know that's really hard, especially when you're talking about fibromyalgia and ME/CFS and hypermobility. But if you could talk to one to create a safe routine, that would be incredible to get you started. But I know that that's not always possible because we can't always find the person, and often that money is hard to come by also. But I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Come on over to Instagram if you want to have a look. I'll probably be a bit ahead of my challenge by the time this video goes live, because it takes me a while to get through the whole process of editing and uploading. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reporting back, and I'm a little bit excited.